Hello everyone and welcome to episode 125 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, where we are currently in Living World Season 2 and we are halfway complete with Living World Season 2 as we have completed the first 4 episodes. And with the start of the season, I really focused on the story that was going on specifically while highlighting Dry Top. And as we progress into the second half of Living World Season 2, I want to slow things down where I didn't do too many extra things looking at other things in Guild Wars 2, and I also had my special Let's Play week and a half, and I rapid fired a few episodes, so we got through the first half very quickly, and we're just going to dramatically slow down because there are a lot of things connected to Living World Season 2 and connected to our bigger goals in the Let's Play series, and things completely disconnected from Living World Season 2 that I want to highlight. With that all said, starting with this episode, we're just going to dive into the story, and then we will continue with some extra bonus stuff in the future episodes. Where we got through the first half very quickly, we'll see how long it takes for us to get through the second half with everything that I have planned, but starting with episode 5, Echoes of the Past. As Tyria prepares for war with another Elder Dragon, the search for information becomes paramount. The arcane secrets stashed inside the depths of the German Priory shed some light on your mysterious vision and also give hope for the future. Let's play this episode, where we have the ghosts of Fort Zama. I'm sending a young explorer named Campbell to investigate the strange activities at Fort Zama. I know you were at the battle that claimed the lives of so many Seraph. All my other explorers are tied up with missions or preparing to leave with the Pact. I need someone I can trust to ensure Campbell's safety. Will you return to Fort Zama and meet her there? Your efforts on my behalf are appreciated. Ella McKay. Very, very quickly, since I've talked about it so much in a couple of the past episodes, and we might not necessarily be able to do it right now, but I just wanted to double check if the Skrit Queen is alive right now, where the legendary sand giant is alive. And if you come down here, it looks like the Skrit Queen has been defeated. Maybe not. Oh, it can only be activated if tier 4 has been achieved, which has not been achieved. So, completely disregarding all of that, let's get over to Fort Zama. The mountains of Kryda in the background there, but the partial ruins of Fort Zama here, where we can go ahead and investigate the ghosts of Fort Zama, where we have the German Priory Scholar that's located here, and some fallen Seraph. So let's just investigate the entire situation here, where we have these two Seraph who think we are Mordrim. So let's go ahead and attack them, deal with them. They're both veterans, so they're a little bit tankier than some of your other Seraph that you find around here. Some of the Seraph definitely probably pretty weak and died quickly in the attack.
Seraph, what are you doing? Stay away from me!
And we can hear Explorer Campbell up this way. And we can hear Belinda.
I'm not a Mordrum. Please, stop. Stop. Please, don't kill me.
Stay back, Mordrum.
I'm not a Mordrum. You're confused. I'm not a Mordrum. Belinda Jane Delacroix. Oh,
Marty? What's happening?
Belinda.
Sword.
I promise I'll care for it.
When darkness overwhelms you, I'll rend your enemies before they can harm you. Until the day you die, I'll be with you. My love for you is everlasting. Show me the sword.
you all right?
Belinda. Her spirit. She fused herself with the sword.
Are you okay?
I think so.
We're here for you. Just say the word. She thought I was a Mordrum. She was going to kill me.
Talking to Marjorie, when Belinda died, my world turned black. Now, I don't know what to feel anymore. Belinda fused her soul with the sword. I don't know how. I'll have to do some research. Maybe this is a special blade. I just can't believe she did that. It'll be okay. Take some time for yourself. Get some rest. And she says, no time to rest. Kaz and I were making headway at the Priory. We've got another meeting scheduled with Magister McKay. Delaying would be a mistake. We have to arm ourselves against Mordramoth. A big, quiet old library is exactly the kind of environment I need right now. It'll take my mind off things. We have to get Mordramoth, my friend.
I was investigating the ruins when the spirits of fallen Seraph overwhelmed me. I'd be dead now if it weren't for you. Thank you for saving my life. I'm heading to the Silverwastes to do some research for Magister McKay. Come find me if you're ever there.
The Silverwastes. But really quickly, I want to point out something really cool that is going on here, because when Guild Wars 2 originally launched, we had the 8 professions at launch, and there was no such thing as elite specializations. And we see different characters having different professions, and we can see that Casimir Mead is a mesmer that we know, and we see Marjorie Delacroix is a necromancer that we know. But a very interesting thing with necromancers, with the launch of Guild Wars 2, and if you play a core necromancer without any elite specializations, is that they cannot use great swords. But then here in Living World Season 2, we see Marjorie using a great sword, which is very interesting because necromancers at this time could not do that. But then with the Heart of Thorns expansion, which we are now quickly approaching, we saw elite specializations introduced into the game, with one new one with Heart of Thorns for each of the professions. And we saw that necromancers became reapers, and reapers can use great swords, just like what we are doing right now, where we have access to a great sword. And Marjorie was basically the first necromancer, I guess. I mean, there might be like another example, but the first like big necromancer that we interacted a lot with in Guild Wars 2 who uses a great sword, and kind of a hint to what was coming up with the Heart of Thorns expansion, which is kind of cool. But over this way, we have Explorer Campbell that we can chat with. I should have waited for you. The ghosts almost got me. Why did they think I was a Mordrum? I suspect it was their trauma. They died so suddenly, they were confused. Poor things. Well, I owe you a debt. After this, I'm headed to the Silverwastes to further my research. If you find yourself in the area, look me up. I'll treat you to a nice meal. Where we have completed the Ghosts of Fort Sama, a very quick story mission where we can go ahead and get some of these rewards. I'll just pick the rune back, I suppose. And then we got mail here from Traherne. We're planning our assault on Mordramoth at Camp Resolve, our new staging area in the Silverwastes. The time has come for all to stand and deliver, and I would like you to assist with our preparations here. I have a specific mission for you if you're game. The Seraph of Kryda have secured a new route to our staging area through Fort Vando. Evidence suggests the bandits hastily abandoned the location recently. The guards posted there may know more. Please journey safely. The increased Mordrum activity is making travel especially dangerous. Let's go ahead and leave this instance, and we can go out back into the open world, and we can go to Brisbane Wildlands here, to Vandal's Claim, and we can explore a brand new map. And this has always been a very interesting area where we see the Inquest, the bandits, and the Nightmare Court having a little bit of an alliance where they're just trying to help each other out for their own goals. And bandit activity in the Brisbane Wildlands is massive. There's so many bandits all around this map. And here was a fort where there were a ton of bandits, including like invincible bandits that could like one-shot you just sitting on these ramparts, and like they would kill you if you got too close. And this area was blocked off like way back in the day, but now we can see it is opened up, and the Seraph have control of the fort, and there is a few jungle tundra routes around here where we have this one Seraph scout who we can go ahead and chat with. Where the fort was abandoned so fast, the triad hardly had time to collect their notes. Vines were scattered all over. The place looked an awful lot like what happened at Fort Sama and Concordia. Maybe Mordremoth started too, but whatever it was interested in is gone now. Either way, step lightly, Seraph are on their way to secure the fort. Alright, so we can go ahead and come into this fort where there's a dead peacemaker officer over there. And there's so many jungle tinder roots, and we can see a variety of supplies here. And we got another Seraph soldier up this way, and I'm gonna have to deal with these tinder roots, aren't I? They're dealing so much damage to me. I got this one here. Oh, he just teleported over there. There we go. A Vigil Tactician. We got Bandit Lena right here. And we have this map portal. If you talk to this soldier, welcome traveler, make sure you don't trip on anything. The fort's a mess. And where the triad hastily abandoned it. We have this bandit that was captured. I was getting tired of the endless views of Mr. and Mrs. Turnkey over there. Where she says she's on a little bit of a holiday and she's catching up on her sleep.
Marathon standing, a required skill among Seraph?
Must be nice to sit around all day.
If you let me out, we can dance.
Got a knife in her boot.
Killjoy.
Where let's go ahead and go through the portal into the Silverwastes.
Welcome to Camp Resolve. We're grateful for the cooperation of to a task. Good luck to each of you, and may Tyria prevail in the days ahead.
And we are in Camp Resolve, and there is so much going on here. We're going to spend many episodes just talking about everything going on here in Camp Resolve and in the Silverwastes, because there's really a lot to dive into. But we have a brand new map that we can explore, and this is the first map in Guild Wars 2, and this is a very common thing nowadays, but this is the first map that is entirely focused around the idea of a meta event, where we also see it with Dry Top a little bit, but Dry Top's like overarching meta is like very chill and casual and laid back, where you don't have to organize too many things. But here is an entire map where we have to organize a lot, where we see meta events here and there throughout Guild Wars 2's and the personal story and whatnot. We're in Blood Tide Coast, we have like the Triple Trouble, where we have to organize 3 big groups, and we need like a lot of organization, but that's just like a part of Blood Tide Coast. And we see, you know, different metas at the different Orient temples, but Silverwastes is just on another level, where there is some stuff to explore in the Silverwastes, including one massive area that we're probably going to dedicate most of an episode to. But for the most part, this map is just jam-packed with events, and there's just a lot that we can do. So let's go ahead and spend some time exploring, and we can see if there happens to be a group interested in doing some of the Silverwaste stuff. It doesn't really look like that's the case. Where let's go ahead and just come grab this Abyss stuff first. Where, I guess before we even do that, we got this Mayo Athelsilian. Since our rediscovery of the Silverwastes, the Society has been interested in studying the unique physiology of its hardiest flora. I've sent you an extraction tool that makes the removal of floral organs easier. We're willing to trade you bandit crust in exchange for these Mordrum plant parts, where we can go ahead and do this. And this is for a lot of achievement related stuff, where there's, again, just a ton of achievements that we can do in the Silverwastes, and a ton of farming that we can do for so many different items, similar to Dry Top, but it just feels like on a whole other level. And Camp Resolve itself is a massive packed fortification, and we explored in the last few episodes of us trying to unite Tyria together, where we have the Pact spearheading this operation, and we got the individual orders within the Pact, but then we have reinforcements from all of the different nations of Tyria, where we see some Char and Asura like right over there, and we find just a ton of people everywhere, including some Seraph there, and we even have a Skrit ambassador here, where he will inform us about there being Skrit tunnels, where there's a Skrit scratch in the northeastern area here, and if the Skrit scratch is safe, the tunnels will be available for us, and this allows us to navigate the map a little bit quicker if we wanted. And it also opens up some exclusive areas that we need the tunnels in order to get to. But over here we have this point of interest, Camp Resolve itself. And we have a level 80 mentor, which is something we'll explore a bit more in the future, but this is kind of like a big tutorial area too for fresh level 80 players. And we even got a PSNA merchant located here right now without anything that I really want. You can see a ton of helicopters being built, a bunch of tents all around here, and a ton of airships, including the one and only Glory of Tyria rebuilt. It is the Pact flagship that we flew on in order to defeat Zaitan, now hanging out here in Camp Resolve, and we are definitely going to want to have as many forces and as many airships as we want in the coming conflicts against Mordremoth. But let's head out this way, where we got a point of interest right here that we can go ahead and check. And I'm debating if I want to jump into the meta event right now, because it's at basically the tail end of the meta, and we can maybe just go around and chat. There's so many. We should maybe talk to the scouts too. Let's go check out the meta event, see what's going on. So much stuff to interact with. I'm a little overwhelmed right now because of just how much stuff there is. But to kind of redirect our attention to the meta event, in this map there are 4 big forts, and when the entire meta starts, we don't really have any control over the map, and we start in Camp Resolve, and we have to go out in the map and try to claim all 4 of the forts, and then we have to claim them, and we have to upgrade them, and we have to keep them defended, and we have to do that for a very long time until we fill up a bar where the meta event progresses. And also looks like this meta is going to fail. Nobody's out here doing anything, so let's go back this way, where I guess there's a hero challenge over here we can come grab really quickly. But once that bar is filled, at each of those forts there's going to be a special event where we can go ahead and fight a boss. And once all of those bosses are defeated, we're going to have the western part of the map that we see opened up right here, where there's going to be 3 lanes, and it's going to be kind of similar to the ideas of the Twisted Marionette that I talked about a while ago, where instead of 5 lanes we have 3 lanes, where everybody in the map needs to split up into 3 different groups, and they need to go down each of the lanes in those 3 groups, and you can't like swap lanes. And as you defend each lane will have an opportunity to fight a boss, where there's 3 different bosses, and each lane has a chance in order to attack one of the bosses, and if that lane fails, then the next lane will have the opportunity to fight that boss, or if the first lane is successful, then the next lane will have the opportunity to fight the next boss in the 3 boss rotation, where once all 3 bosses are defeated, you have completed the meta event, and then there is also a special bonus loot phase. So really straightforward, really easy to understand, and if you're a little confused, we'll get into it at some point, where it is currently failing in this map. But let's go back into Camp Resolve, because there's a few scouts that we can chat with, and we can just check in on what is going on around here, and you might see the map reset in a little bit. But this entire meta event is incredibly popular, and is one of the most popular meta events in all of Guild Wars 2, and I'm kind of surprised there's actually not a group going for it right now. It's a fair bit less popular nowadays because there's like a lot of other alternatives for making gold, but this is one of the original like massive gold farms in Guild Wars 2. But here's Pact Scout Carson.
With Fort Vandal abandoned, we have our ground route into the Silverwastes. We're establishing a forward camp to amass troops and supplies for our airborne assault on Mordremoth.
So very simple, straightforward. And then we have 2 additional scouts. Alright, let's come check out the southern scout here, and then we have the northern scouts, and we can go up there and check that out as well. We can see the meta event failed, and the next assault begins in 18 minutes, so the map is kind of just stagnant for 18 minutes.
We need to keep our supply lines open to hold our positions in the wastes. Our pack animals are under constant threat of Mordrum ambush as they make their way through the canyons to and from Camp Resolve.
So showing the 4 different camps that are available for us to try to attack, which we won't have the opportunity to in this instance for 17 minutes and 12 seconds, but once that resets we can go ahead and help out with that potentially. But if we like leave the map and come back, we might be put into a different map IP where it could be at a completely different phase of the map. But here is Packed Scout Skin, showing us some northern information.
The security of the Pact staging area depends on our ability to hold the surrounding territory. It's imperative that we drive Mordremoth's minions from all the towers and fortresses that were surrendered by the bandits out in the Silverwastes.
So the exact same idea as the southern one, but we can poke our heads out of the northern area, and then I think with all of that we will have a pretty basic understanding of what is going on in the Silverwastes and have a general idea of the lay of the land, where we have this veteran northern shelf elemental right here. Let's challenge the elements themselves. I feel like this is just a classic hero challenge that so many people have done. Let's go ahead and try to not get launched again. Up, there we go. And our flesh golem finished it off. Where the vines blocking passage to hidden depths have temporarily withdrawn, which I didn't realize happened if the map meta event fails. But over here, let's explore a very special area that we're going to dive deeper into in the future. But we also got this lost badge, which I got one earlier, which we see 2 out of 2. Where there's 30 in total, where it's basically the same idea as the coins from Dry Top, where there's just a ton of badges everywhere. And we have just a ton of bandits around here, and it's really interesting to see a lot of bandit storylines going on, where there's a ton of inquest activity, investigating the ley lines and other stuff going on in Dry Top, which was very interesting to see the inquest kind of right on top of that. Right now we have just a ton of bandits, and it's interesting to see bandits in this area where they had forts that they abandoned, but there's still like some bandit activity going on, and it's kind of just interesting that there's just so many different human bandits all around this area of the road, and that might be something that we can explore a little bit more of as we find more and more camps. But now we have Kendra the Strident, where we can go ahead and kill this bandit in order to defend the Scrit Scratch here. A pretty easy fight. Ambassador's Aid, where we assisted the ambassador in defending the Scrit territory, wow, from the bandits. Where we got Boot Requisition Order, which is important for some other achievements and getting some special skins. But we got the point of interest here, Picaroon Scratch. And by completing this event, we have done 2 things. We have 1, opened up the script tunnels, and 2, opened up this gate down into one of my favorite areas in all of Guild Wars 2. Where we have a massive chasm here, and we can see that the Scrit are building what looks to be a massive boat here at Dry Dock Grotto. We got to the waypoint, and you can see the plans for the boat right here, and it seems like they're doing a really good job building it exactly how they need it to be in order to follow these plans. But you know, if you turn your head a little bit, maybe it's upside down. But there's just a bunch of like fun stuff right here, which is kind of cool to see. But I just love this boat so much. It's just so insanely cool. I love it so much. But this is the entrance to my single most favorite jumping puzzle in the entirety of Guild Wars 2. And that's going to be for another episode where we will explore this entire area more in depth once we get to that episode. But another interesting thing is that there's a golden lost badge there, where we have the 30 lost badges that we see with the normal Silverwastes with that achievement, but there's 30 more that we can find exclusively in this jumping puzzle. And this jumping puzzle is pretty much like the entirety of the Silverwastes, but is not in the main part of the Silverwaste itself, which, if you don't really understand what I just said, you will understand once we do the jumping puzzle. Really quickly, let's come over this way, because we can come up here where there's a hero challenge and a bandit scout. Let's go ahead and clear the scout, where we don't want this person reporting back to the bandits about what's going on here. We want to defend the incredible script, but we can commune with this place of power. And then there's a golden lost badge right over there that I guess we can go ahead and grab really quickly. Might as well pick it up for our achievements, where there's just so much we can explore. But go for the gold, gives us a mastery point even, and I almost died. But I think that is good enough for now, where there's also the point of interest over there we can get, but I'll save that for later. Let's go back to the main waypoint. Right, let's go ahead and take a moment to get the third waypoint in this map, just so we have the waypoint unlocked. And since the entire area is kind of opened up right now, there's a lost bandit chest we can open, similar to the chest in Dry Top, where there's a lot of similarities between Dry Top and the Silverwastes, given the fact that they released very close together and are in the same content era as each other. One of those similarities is that we saw Dry Top was expanded over multiple episodes, with the first 4 episodes of Living Road Season 2, and then this map was also expanded multiple times throughout the latter half of Living Road Season 2, which this is an area that we specifically see more of in the future. But I think there is a point of interest down here that we can go ahead and get to really quickly. So this is kind of like a minor spoiler, and I really don't want to pay too much attention to this area, especially since this area stresses me out a lot anyways. Right, let's try to get to the center here. It is a massive maze, and there's a ton of Mordrim around here, and we're going to have to deal with these Mordrim if we want to get some of the achievement stuff in here and to get to this chest, where it looks like we got to the chest successfully without having to deal with any of them. But I don't have the key, which you get from doing events around the map. But I got the labyrinth point of interest. I think that's everything for that. Where let's go back to Camp Resolve once again, and let's go ahead and head into the story mission, Reunion with the Pact. And we have the Silverwaste loading screen art here, which I've been holding off in the story mission for a little bit, but hopefully everything going on here makes sense if you are a newer player, where there's just a lot of stuff going on in this map. But really, if you break it down, it's a pretty simple idea, with like 4 bases for the meta leading into major events.
Get me a couple of charcoal sticks to mark them with.
At once, sir.
Has anyone heard from Commander Frostgullet? She's late.
She's dealing with a problem on her ship, Marshal. The engines need maintenance.
Tell her to get someone else to do that. I need her here.
Right away.
Let's go discuss the situation with Traherne.
Chancellor Flunt asked that I convey his regards.
I do not care about Chancellor Flunt, but it's cool to see that some of those char were kind of like awestruck as I walked by. And really, we are one of the most important people in the Pact. We are second in command, the second highest ranking officer in the Pact, and over the last year we haven't really done too much with the Pact. But now we have the entire Pact here, and we can go ahead and reunite with them, and we can kind of take up the mantle of commander once again.
Marshal, I have news.
How are things progressing?
The Northwest is overrun with Mordrim and strangling vines. The troops need reinforcements.
Tell Commander Quentin to ready his ship.
Yes, sir.
Everyone disperse. The commander and I need to talk.
Yes, Marshal. Everybody out. Come on, move it.
While they're dispersing, Let me fill you in on what's been happening since the summit. I took what you said to heart. The fleet's arriving gradually, and we're preparing to take the fight to Mordremoth. The cities have all sent troops to fight with us, and we've begun preliminary forays into the surrounding area. I've contacted your friends from Destiny's Edge, and they've all agreed to join the battle. All but Ritlock Brimstone. I couldn't reach him, and none of the others know where that portal took him either. We're gathering as much information as we can on the enemy before we launch the main assault. We definitely need someone with your skills, so I'm glad you're with us.
Let's go ahead, chat with Traherne, where we can say, right now the pact is high on my priority list. He says, I'm glad, and we can say, before the dragon gets too strong in response to trying to get an early attack on Mordremoth. And he says, exactly, we're fortifying as quickly as we can. We believe Mordremoth is west of here, or south perhaps. Its jungle seems to be spreading eastward. And you have a mission for me? I have a mission. I have a squad missing. They were on a scouting mission, and they should have been back last night, but they didn't return. There are 2 non-packed with them. Who are they? Our friend Keith and a diplomat sent here by the Cretan government to investigate the situation. His name is Canuck. Both are very capable, but may be outnumbered. Canuck. We need to look for them and see if they need reinforcements. Would you be willing to lead that mission? I'll head out as soon as I'm prepared. Let's go ahead, check down here really quickly before we check in with Bram, where we can see the Silverwastes, where we have Camp Resolve right here. And I just love maps like this so much. So much. Camp Resolve right here, where we have the southern exit out to the west and the northern exit out to the west that we explored, and then we got the 4 bases that we saw, and then the Vine Wrath that we kind of got a sneak peek of over onto the western side. And we got so many documents around here where we could translate this if we wanted. It looks like a signature, maybe something related to the pact. We got some sort of plans here, which maybe you could also translate, but the text seems much lighter compared to this one. We got plans for a packed cannon. We got this airship paper here, and it looks like something about Mordrim vines. And then some blueprints for Camp Resolve. We got a helicopter and some more airship stuff. Anyways, down to Bram Erison. Hey, I saw you meeting with Traherne. What did he want? Do you have to do things with the Pact? Marshal Traherne is requesting my help to find a missing squad. We can say you're the perfect choice for that. You already have a lot of experience in Mordrim. Are you going to be in charge or something? So it seems, of a small squad. I'd offered to come, but I've got to make sure Timy's safe. She's looking for that Pact engineer to toughen Scruffy's armor. I'll never forget how close she came to dying in that inquest attack. Me neither. We showed up in the nick of time. She was so scared. I'll keep an eye on the squirt. You're going to be okay, right? Of course, I won't be alone. Let's go check in on Timey all the way over here. And I just love how much is going on here. Like, really, if you just like take a second, there's so many people running around, so many people just working on different things and welding right there. And we got like different troops arriving and walking to different places and just different people talking. There's just so much going on, just like we saw in the open road instance.
I need to know. Was Aaron working for Scarlet?
Not to my knowledge, miss, although I suppose it's possible. I never met any of his friends.
Then what are you doing out here?
We came looking for a safe place to land.
Wait, you can't just leave after saying that. Why would he attack you? You never did anything to hurt him, did you?
Of course not. We welcomed him into our fold, but he grew violent.
It started with episodes of confusion and aggression.
We just decided to confine him when...
So where's the Master of Peace now?
We need to find him.
Excuse me. Excuse me! No, wait! Why would he go off alone?
We believe he's still searching for a place where we can all be safe.
We saved him. We tracked Aaron through the wastes and found him before he could kill your master.
That was you, huh? We found Aaron's corpse and assumed the master had killed him.
Nope, it was the boss and me and the others too. We trapped him inside Spurbend Canyon and fought him there.
We are profoundly grateful to you, miss. To all of you. But we really must go now.
Let's speak with the Aswick Masters. where they say, I'm told by this delightful young miss here that you saved the life of our masterpiece. It seems you have a knack for commanding aspects. And we can say Aaron was out of control. He had to be stopped. Athelstan, how did the masterpiece look when you saw him last? Was he injured at all? No, he seemed hardy. He's determined and of course the best among us. If any of us could survive out there on our own, it would be him. Nevertheless, you're risking your own lives to try to catch up with him. We fear the day will come when he will need us. We want to be there when it does. Where we can say safe journeys. And then we can chat with Timmy, where we can inform her about Kaith and Canuck. And then Timmy says, Bram should go with you. What if something happens to you? And I can say I'm meeting up with the leading pack squad. I won't be alone. She says, I can find my engineer and then get home alone. You don't need to watch over me every second. Seriously, I'm not a baby. We got Bram here, and we have completed reunion with the Pact, where we now have Kaith's reconnaissance squad, where we need to find the squad in the Silverwastes, where we have a version of the map where we have multiple 3 forts that are held, and many of the forts have leveled up their defenses just a tiny bit. And we can see the Pact are trying to deliver supplies to the forts, kind of similar to road versus road, but the Pact assault preparations are almost completed, so we don't have many opportunities to explore many parts of this map currently. But let's go ahead and try to get in here a little bit where we can get to this point of interest, and then up this way we should be able to find this vista right up here. Let's get up here and then jump to here, and then to here. And then let's try to get back down here and get to the next fort as quickly as we can. This one is currently being attacked, but the Pact assault preparations are almost complete, so we won't have too many opportunities. Where in fact this fort is actually the one that is currently controlled by the Mordrim. So let's change our plans a little bit and come out this way, where we can head over towards where the Vine Wrath appears at the end of all of the events in this map, where we have this fort that is currently being attacked. And I should pay attention to map chat a little bit just for some callouts, because there are a few things that I'm just gonna want to look for in this map as I explore it. Right, let's get up here. I'm currently bleeding, so we are in combat, and we can get up here out of combat. Look at the vista. Somebody called for the Pact to summon some airships in order to bombard the Mordrim here, which is cool. And now we see the Pact preparations are complete, where we can go down there in order to fight a boss, but I'm going to save that for another time. Where let's come up here really quickly. It is currently blocked, but maybe we can explore a little bit. No, it's too far. Let's just continue north. So many Mordrim everywhere across this entire map, where there's so many events. Most of the events in this map, in fact, related to killing the Mordrim, but of course a couple of other events like the Bandit event, where in fact we could even come into this space really quickly, where there's going to be a point of interest in here, where this is the blue base, blue oasis. And then let's come down here, because I think there might be a point of interest for us. Or is this, oh wait, no, this is the boat point of interest. Let's get back this way. We got the champion Mordrim here, and we can go ahead, oh, almost full wagon. Go ahead and ignore him. And where, let's get over this way very quickly, where we do have the next story mission that we can do, but I might wait a little bit and we can explore it more in the future. Alright, let's just spend a little bit of time that we have left in this video to just go around the map and try to find a few different things as we come to a close, where the Silverwastes has so many things for us to explore, including many of the story missions, which we're now halfway done with this episode of Living Road Season 2. But up this way we can see we have the Crypt Botanist here, and they appear in random areas around the map, and you can deliver parts to them, parts that you get from killing the champions at the 4 different areas. We got a Wailing Sands here, and this map is very similar in many ways to Dry Top, as it is part of the Maguma Wastes. But over here we have a vista that we can go ahead and grab. And then we can go this way very quickly, where there's a lost badge up there. I don't entirely remember how we're supposed to get up there. But a champion bandit spokesperson, he says, the natives who own this cavern are a hostile crowd, but I managed to befriend them. I could extend my protection to you for a couple of gold. So we could donate a couple of gold, or we can experience what happens if we don't do that. Alright, let's just come in here and we can see the natives are bandits, where we can get this point of interest. Remnants retreat and they are attacking us, and there are a ton of bandit traps. Alright, let's try to get over this way very quickly, and we can get just an incredible view of the Silverwastes there. And I could try to safely drop down. I'm so dead, aren't I? Yep, I'm fully dead. Where we got a point of interest down here that we can come grab really quickly, where I think this point of interest is from the jumping puzzle, and this one is also from the jumping puzzle as well. And there's some more stuff further to the north that we can only access via Skrit tunnels. And as I naturally progress through the map more and complete more of the story and dive deep into some certain areas, we will eventually get 100% map completion in the Silverwastes, and I could intentionally go for it specifically, where I'm kind of doing that right now, but not 100% right now. But the Silverwastes, kind of similar to Dry Top, is another very expansive map with a ton of stuff going on in it, and I think that's just really cool, especially since Salton Cove was definitely a little bit on the lighter side of content for the first post-release map. But if you come back this way, we can get a sneak peek for what is going to happen in our next story mission, which is going to be something that we might wait a week or two before getting back to, depending on the next videos that I make. But we have this canyon here that we can go ahead and explore. A ram just hanging out, a salamander drake, and then the canyons get like really tight right here. We got a lost badge, might as well grab this since we're right here. And I've gotten 4 of those now. And then up here, this area just looks really cool. I love like the rock formations and stuff. But here, and then up, ooh, almost. And then there. And then here's this vista. Very cool vista, but let's continue this way, where as we drop down, it says there's a hero challenge this way with a fragrant cactus. I do not remember this hero challenge. Carefully pick a fruit to eat, and it looks like it's just another eating one that I've just completely forgotten about. And I always kind of like these for like the flavor, pun unintended, that they add to the game. Let's go out this way. So many Mordrim all around here, and we can get a nice view of this area this way from atop this cliff here.
All right, everyone. In order to pass the gate,
gate, we need our siege weapons in position.
And I think that might be the craziest timing, because we got right to this point when the meta progressed, and then we saw the meta begin here, where it looks like they're trying to organize it a little bit, but there's not a lot of people. Let's just escape out this way and double check some of the stuff going on, where I didn't get the point of interest there. I completely forgot about that. Really quickly, let's come to Indigo, and we can see if we can get the Vista. We might not be able to. We might be in combat. Or I don't think there's anyone in the northern lane as they're trying to organize this. Indigo Cave. Looks like we're relatively safe. Let's get off our raptors, since raptors definitely weren't part of this map when this map was introduced. And over here we can grab this Vista. There we go, 76% complete with the Silverwastes, where we have 2 more hero challenges. One of which is at the end of the meta, one is in the northern area, a Vista that's in the northern area, and a variety of points of interest that we will get in the future. But one is right over here, down by this crashed packed helicopter. We have the northern shelf, and it seems like this team is being pretty successful, so I'll probably do this meta event a couple of times while we spend more time in Living World Season 2, since it is a pretty easy meta event to complete. But let's go ahead and just experience it a little bit, where really it's just a lot of defending forts, where a lot of people run around in circles going from red to indigo to blue to amber, aka Reba, which is just an iconic gold farm in Guild Wars 2. And then we have the big boss at the end after a few smaller bosses. Pretty straightforward idea without too many interesting things specifically going on. But let's experience the final boss here just a little bit, where we have the third lane and we have a few people defending the lane here. Maybe they were just like further back, but let's go ahead, help out here. The second lane just went in to fight their boss, so if they are successful, we will have the opportunity to come fight the third boss that comes in. Or if the second lane fails, then we will be fighting the second boss, since they weren't able to defeat theirs. But Mordred Vile Thrasher, we can have the Siege Carrier just progress towards the Vine Wrath and deliver bombs in order to break down the defenses that are blocking the way to the Vine Wrath, where we want to line this up to where the defenses will be down right after the second boss is defeated. So I think this is the final wall, and it'll just be a little inconvenient if you break this wall without the boss being defeated, where it's just about to die. So we have progressed through this. We got some keys. So let's defend this Siege Carrier and let's get through here, where maybe there's in fact 2 walls we need to defeat. Or just the one, can't really tell. Let's go ahead and kill this Mordred Husk. And then we have the Arboreal Siege Carrier making its way through. And now we can go through. The path to the Mordred Vine Wrath is open. Where we can see the Vine Wrath over there, and there are 3 different bosses we can fight. One of which is the Dark Wing, where I don't remember too many of the mechanics for any of the bosses. I like the B one a lot, where you have to like jump on the hives and stuff. But I think this might just be a really easy boss to defeat because of power creep, so let's just annihilate the Dark Wing here. Where I think there's like, we have to like turn around at some point during this fight, but we have successfully done it. We even got the achievement Copper. And we have pushed back the Vine Wrath, the first of many, many times. And we got a ton of achievements in here. Champion Mordred Husk Copper. I did not do that. That's interesting. But defeated the Dark Wing. Let's get to the Lost Bandit chest here. And we have the big chest that we also opened up. And more Lost Bandit chests. We got the point of interest in here. I can try to get all of these chests. We only have one more key actually, so just that. Where we got some carapace armor, which is cool. And then we have a hero point right over here that we can go ahead and grab. A fallen Isera. There's also a cat here, just meowing at us hungrily. Can collect this cat in our home instance, I believe, but this Isera has been dead for a very long time. From a mysterious elixir potentially that we can go ahead and drink ourselves, and we can get a hero point. Or that is 5 out of 6 of the hero challenges completed in this map, with 3 more points of interest, 2 of which are from the jumping puzzle area, I believe, and then 1 more point of interest and a vista up in the northern area alongside the hero challenge. But let's go back to Camp Resolved, because I've definitely spent a ton of time in the Silverwastes, and hopefully this entire map makes a little bit of sense. Definitely a straightforward map with a lot of stuff going on once you get past like the straightforward concepts. So many items collected in my inventory, and a lot of silky sand as well. But I hope you all enjoyed this episode where there's just a lot of information packed into this episode. But I also hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time in the Road of Tyria. Goodbye.